I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show. It's Holy Week, Easter on Sunday. And this evening, Gordon Chang and myself, we spoke to Andrew Jacobs of the New York Times in Beijing about a church, a Christian church in China, that defies the Communist Party, the atheistic, actually, the just completely empty Communist Party, and its brutality. It's been suppressed these last weeks, house arrests, mass arrests, persecution, but it continues to defy the apparatus. It's important here to make a distinction between this church, Shaowang, and the fact that the Communist Party maintains what you'd have to say pet Christian churches throughout the land. Gordon, the Shaowang Church, how does it call attention to itself in Beijing?
Well, first of all, it's large. It's almost 1,000 worshipers. It started out as 10 worshipers in about 1993, and it just grew. And it grew in an important part of Beijing in the northwest, where you have Tsinghua University, which is, one of the most prominent institutions in China. And so essentially this group has grown. It doesn't have the sanction of the state religious authorities. It tried to register actually in 2005 or 2006, and the state turned it down. And yet they continue to pray, and they've tried to buy their own premises. They tried to actually regularize themselves, but the authorities have sort of made them an enemy by persecuting them.
Andrew Jacobs says that the church members are made up of cosmopolitan, sophisticated, well-educated, extremely well-employed people, the elite of Beijing. Does that have significance to the party? Does that threaten the party especially because it's not just the common people or people they could ignore? It's people who would be leaders except for the Communist Party.
This is a critical fact because, China watchers say that the middle class supports the Communist Party because they've been the beneficiaries of 3 decades of reform. But here you have beneficiaries, the people who have actually done very, very well in the last 30 years. They're just trying to pray, and they've been made enemies. 2 Sundays ago, about 169 of them were detained because they were praying in public. Last Sunday, 50 of them were detained. There would have been more, except that the authorities prevented people from going to services last Sunday. And now we're going on to Easter, which is the most holy day for Christians. And this group is saying it's going to pray. Now, the authorities are going to try to stop them, but they're setting up a confrontation in Beijing that really the party can't win because there's about 60 million Protestants in China. 40 million go to underground house churches like Shaowang. That's creating a lot of enemies for the state.
A house church, an underground house church, that means that it's not official, but it's not exactly secret. Could the authorities suppress all the house churches?
I actually don't think so because, first of all, there's so many of them. Some of them are very, very small. They meet in the house. That's how they got the name. The authorities, most places know where the house churches are. But because the authorities themselves are very sympathetic to the house churches, and it's not just Protestants, it's Catholics and others as well, that essentially it'd be very difficult for Hu Jintao, the leader of China, to press a button and suppress all the house churches.
Gordon Chang of the Daily and Forbes.com. I'm John Batchelor, and the brave Christians of the Shaowang Church in Beijing for Holy Week and for Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. This is the John Batchelor Show. Good day.